Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about questionnaires and what they are, what they do, and how they work. A questionnaire is a resource you can use in your course that will enable you to gather information from your students. Whether it is an assessment quiz or end-of-the-year feedback, a questionnaire can be very, very useful. So, I'm in one of my courses. I'm going to go ahead and turn editing on. And now editing is turned on, and I'm going to go down to my welcome area. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to add an activity. And this activity is called questionnaire. Now, like most things in Moodle, I have to give it a name. So this is going to be the What Do You Know questionnaire. I want to know what the students know already so I can get an idea at the beginning of the course what I need to focus on. Summary, so this is assessment, a student's knowledge, timing. This is very useful. A questionnaire can always be there, or it can open on a certain date and then close on a certain date. I'm going to leave these unchecked for now, but if you did want to set them to be time sensitive, I would just go ahead and click these little boxes and then I could choose the time and day. I'm going to uncheck that for now. And the response options, this is fairly important. So can the student respond once, many times, once a week, once a month, or once a day? I'm going to have them respond once because I don't need them to come back and do it several times. Respondent type. Now, when your student replies and a questionnaire is submitted, it can be submitted with their name or without it. In this case, I'll have it be either way. It could be full name or it could be anonymous. It just depends on the situation. We'll leave that as full name for now. If that had been feedback for the course in general, anonymous would be best choice there. Can the students review all the responses? The default is set to never, so they can't see what their peers have done. I'm going to leave that there. Can they start a questionnaire, save it, and come back and finish it later? The default is no. I'd like them to just go there, get it done, and have it be done. So I'll leave that set to no. I'm not going to worry about the grading area. In the content options, we have a few items here. We can create a new questionnaire, or we can use the template of an existing one. What I'm going to do is go ahead and create a new one from scratch, but you'll see that Moodle provides some, and then if you've already made some elsewhere, you can start with a previous template. We're going to go ahead and start from scratch today. I'm going to leave that at Create New. Group mode. This has to do with if I divided my class up into groups and only certain groups would have access to certain questionnaires, I could assign them to that specific group. I don't have any groups for this course, so I'll just leave that alone. And now I'm going to go ahead and say save and return to course. And now what I'll have is a new activity called What Do You Know, which is my assessment quiz. And if I go ahead and click on that, it's telling me I'm not eligible to take this questionnaire because by default only students can take questionnaires. You can change that, of course, if you want to, but because I'm looking at it as a teacher, you're going to get this message. But don't worry, it's supposed to say this. If we go into the tab that says Questions, this is where we're going to add questions to the questionnaire. Of course, a pretty important part of a questionnaire is having questions. So in this drop-down that starts with the word page break, I have a whole bunch of options for how questionnaire questions can be displayed. There's checkboxes, drop-down, you can do an essay box where they can write comments, you can give them a rating to fill in, a yes or no, and it's fun to just kind of play around in here. These are similar questions to what you can do in quizzes if you've ever made one of those. I'm going to go ahead and do a checkbox question. So I'm going to click on the word checkboxes. And I'm going to click on Add Selected Question Type. Alright. So you'll notice I have a question name and a question text. The text of the question is what the student is actually going to see, and that's the most kind of important part. You can give it an optional name if you'd like. I definitely want to require a response. I'm going to come down and I'm going to ask my question. So I'm going to put in a kind of a practice kind of test question here. Of course, this would be tailored to your specific course. And in the possible answers box, this is where I actually type what the checkboxes are going to say. So the first one, I'm going to say a lot, and I hit return, and you'll see that this will generate the separate text boxes. So I've got a lot, a little, and not enough. Now if I go ahead and save this question by hitting Save Changes, in my question list here I have the question, how much do you know about art? Now if I want to see what this would look like to a student, I could easily go to the Preview tab, and this is what they're going to see. They're going to see the question and a line break and a divider line, and then they're going to have their checkboxes. So very, very simple to add questions to a questionnaire. Let's go ahead and add one more question. Let's do an essay box. Add that type. And let's say, please describe your previous art experience. Then I go ahead and save the changes. And now I have another question beneath the first one that's called an essay box. And let's go ahead and preview that and see what it would look like to a student. And there we go, it just provides a simple area for them to type in their response. So you can see that Moodle questionnaires are very versatile and very flexible for your specific course. And what I will see now, I'm going to go back to my main course. I'm going to set my role just to show you what a student would see to student. And let's say that the questionnaire is ready to go. So I'm a student going in. I'm going to click on the questionnaire. And you'll notice that now I have a Submit Questionnaire button. So the teachers don't see that, but the students do. And let's go ahead and how much do you know about art? Let's answer that. I'm going to say a lot. Please describe your previous art experience. And you notice with these stars that are red, these are required responses that we set up previously. There's my response. I'm going to go ahead now and submit the questionnaire. Now Moodle will tell the student, thank you for completing the questionnaire. And that's how they know they're done. And then now I'm going to go back to the course. I'm going to change my role back to normal, which is a teacher. Go ahead and turn that editing back on. And now if I click on what do you know, the questionnaire, I notice in my responses tab that one person's responded, which was actually me. So let's go ahead and see how it tabulates that data for us. So you'll notice that in number 1 we get an average of this, only one person's taken it, so this question has 100% average, but as the student fills in the information, it calculates the data for us, so it's very handy for keeping track mathematically. And in number 2 was an essay response, so you can see that I enjoy art immensely, and that was my answer to the essay box. So you'll notice that questionnaires very handy, easy to make, and you know, it's kind of interesting to see all the different ways you can gather information with Moodle and how it helps you to tabulate it as you go along.